Hello, my name is Kirk Grant, and I'm one of the TRRA administrators here. And today I'm going to be showing you how to operate our website, the TRRA website, as a member city. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. And today we're going to be using an example city labeled as Testville. Also, you'll be classified as a master user for the city. Let's go ahead and talk about what TRRA is. So what is TRRA? It's a cities helping other cities, and it's a program that helps municipalities collect outstanding utilities. It's a collaboration of member cities, a tool used in exercise of an interlocal agreement, and it is not a collection agency or credit bureau. As you can tell by the guy on the right hand, the top right corner, he owes a city $100, owes another city $250, owes another city $85, and that's how we collect a lot of the time with other cities. But you'll also see that we collect on our own cities too. Same city collections is what we call that. Let's go to the next slide here. TRRA can be a source of revenue by collecting for other member cities. It also can decrease write-offs for delinquent utility accounts. It can identify delinquencies within your city. It can help collect a bad debt that may have been lost otherwise. So it's a great revenue source. What are the requirements to join TRRA? You must be a political subdivision of the state of Texas. Council, the board must execute an interlocal agreement, must sign it. Also must provide us your static IP address. What is expected of TRRA member cities? We would expect for member cities to enter new customer information, also enter delinquent customer information, also collect the debts for other member cities. It's just helping out there. And we will be showing how to upload large batch data for new customers and delinquent customers. So that should be later on in the presentation. How does TRRA work? First, the city uploads current and delinquent customers to the site. Like I was just saying, you can upload batch data, which is a ton of accounts in one setting. Usually those accounts are extracted from encode. That's the way a lot of our larger cities like to do it. You can also upload single customers at a time, delinquent and current ones. So, in the next step after you upload current or delinquent customers would be the site finds the current customers with delinquent balance accounts, and then the site matches the current accounts with the delinquent balance accounts. And then after that, the city prints an invoice from the match. Then the city advises the current customer to pay the balance amount. Then the customer pays. That's really a general overview of how TRRA works. And TRRA uses the 75-25% ratio. So as you can see here, the city of Exampleville is owed $100 by an individual with an outstanding balance from an unpaid water bill. The individual moves to the city of Testville and wants to start service. Testville notices that the individual owes the $100 to the city of Exampleville and advises the future resident to pay before they can start service. The individual agrees, and the invoice is printed for the $100 plus the $25 TRRA fee. So the customer ends up paying the $125. So that $25 fee is just tacked on to that $100. The city of Testville gets to keep the 25% of the $100, which is $25. The city of Testville mails a check for 75% of the $100, which is $75 in this case, with the invoice to Exampleville. The city of Testville mails a check for $25 to TRRA, to the TRRA administration with invoice. And the same city collections. This is a way for a lot of our cities to, it's just another source of revenue, primary revenue sources for one of your cities through TRRA. If you guys want to go ahead and read this, I can read it to you all. So it's one of the primary revenue sources for member cities through TRRA is finding and collecting debt from individuals that remain in the member city. The city would retain 100% of the amount collected and add an additional 25 fee to an invoice that will be paid by the customer. So the $25 fee is added to delinquent invoices and if you're collecting on your own city, and also if you're collecting on another city. So the city of Exampleville owes the $100 from an individual with an outstanding water bill. The individual cancels service with the city and does not pay his or her outstanding bill. The city adds the individual to the delinquent accounts by selecting delinquent entry or uploading that batch data, like we were talking about a second ago, with other delinquent accounts, and we'll see that here in a second. At a later date, the individual requests to start service at a new home in Exampleville. The city clerks add the individuals to the current accounts by selecting a new entry tab or uploading a large batch of new customers or current customers. Then the site will match the $100 outstanding delinquent account with the current account, and the match will be created overnight. After that, the city of Exampleville sends out the $125 invoice with their next water bill. The city collects the $125, keeps the $100 because 100% of that was theirs. They collected it, and it was owed to them. And then they send the $25 check to the TRRA administration with an invoice. So here's the site, the new site that we have. As you can see, the top left-hand corner, we have TRRA-Testville@gmail.com. That's our username. We're classified as the city master user, City of Testville. This is the primary page, the landing page that you guys would get in after you log in for the first time. These tabs on the left-hand side, we're going to go through those first. Then the tabs on the top, we're going to go through those. Behind this note here, in the arrow, it's just the main page. It shows you what TRRA is about. It shows you how we got to this point and how we can collect on customers from different cities through interlocal agreement. So this first tab up here, the new entry tab, this tab allows you to enter current customer information. The current citizens and businesses that do not have a balance will be entered using this tab. Like I was saying before, batch upload is also an option compared to this. You can do both also. It's seen later in the presentation. So this is what the page would look like once you select that new entry tab. This is a no balance. There's a note here that says there's no balance data requested in the new entry tab. So as you can see, I think it would be under the zip. It would have a balance amount if it was a delinquent account. But since these are just current accounts, there's no balance attached to it. It just has the customer's information. Also, underneath here, it just says again that TRRA operates by matching Social Security numbers and driver's license numbers. The next tab we have is that delinquent entry tab. You can also upload large batches of delinquent customers. So new customers, current customers, and delinquent entry customers can both be uploaded in batch form with the CSV files. We'll show you that here in a second. This is what you would land on. As you can see, like I was saying before, the balance is going to show up under the zip in the city owed. Down here, once you add them, this single customer, you can say update. It'll add it to the site as a delinquent customer. And like I was saying before, some smaller cities prefer just doing all of them like this. If you have the time, that's a possibility. If you have an encode, you can also do the extracting the batch data, get a bunch of different delinquent accounts in at one time. Saves a lot of time also. We'll work with you either way. This next tab is the delinquent search tab. Once you select that, you'll be able to look through all of your delinquent accounts. It's pretty self-explanatory there. As you can see, it'll say it'll ask you, your member city. It'll show all of the delinquent accounts that could be um, in our system. So sure, look at that. It's very useful. The next tab is the new customer upload tab. So this tab allows the user to upload large current customers CSV files. So they're not only Excel. That as far as I'm aware, the CSV can be any type of program. It files that are in a certain format. This is primarily used by the administrator, but down the road it's going to be used by larger cities. So this section allows the user to upload the CSV files with current customer information. So if you wanted to do that here, you would choose your file. It should be on your computer. You would upload. You would select it there, and then once you push upload file, it would upload it. If there were any mistakes, it would show you on this page also. So it has to be has to fit a certain format. And if it's out of line on any of those lines on that CSV file, it'll appear on this page if you select the upload file and there are mistakes. So that was one thing that we did update this last time we contacted the vendor. So it helped out quite a bit. It really saves us a lot of time, and cities that are going to be doing this in the future. If you wanted to select the file template current account, it'll download that CSV file. And that file can be used as just an example of like how to create one yourself, or you can actually use that CSV file to put in customer information, and then at some point down the road give us that CSV file. We could upload it for you, or you can figure out doing it yourself too. But as of right now, only larger cities we're trying to get that started, trying to show them how to do it themselves. But either way, it saves us quite a bit of time. And this is what that template would look like if you did select the file template current account. So this is the template for current customers. I also noted on here that the balance column is gone. So you can tell that it's just the current customers because it's not asking for any balance amount. So next tab is that delinquent account upload. Same as the new account upload or current account upload. Same also with the file template. If you wanted to select that for the delinquent accounts too, you can. It'll show that balance column on this one too. So the next tab is the user accounts. This tab allows users to add cities for their city. Pretty self-explanatory. The activity log allows the user to view activity within their city. This tab allows the user to log out of their current profile, and that's just that general log out button. This home tab will bring you right back to this page, the landing page. This tab allows the user to view their contact information. So this is their contact information. So there's an example here. So this is for the city of Testville. I'm logged in as Testville. I'm the city master user. I can select the edit button, change the information on this particular page for other cities to view. So this next tab would be the member contact list. This tab allows the user to access the member city contact list. So that's all the city. This will provide other cities information. So if you're looking to mail a check somewhere, if you want to get in touch with somebody about a delinquent account that's owed to another city, and you can always view people's information on this particular tab. So there are a few ones that we need to update, but this should be good. This should be helpful for you also. The next is the Matches tab, My Matches tab. So this tab allows users to view their matches that are in town and other city matches. So remember, the Social Security number and driver's license number are what creates the matches. So if you have a current account with the driver's license number that matches a delinquent account with the driver's license number or Social Security number, one or the other, or both, the match will be created. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick here. So once that's selected, that box will fold down there, and it'll say in town and other city matches. It's one thing you're going to want to view. And also just to note, you'll not be able to create an invoice in other cities' matches tab when another city houses your delinquent customer. So the balance will not be selectable. That's just another thing to remember. So this is what that's selected if you see potential matches in town. So this is if you see the city and city owed are the same. So it means that the person that owes money to the city of Tessville lives in the city of Tessville. So if you want to read these here, the potential matches in town will show you all of the people that you can collect on. This tab allows you to view the balance and gives you the option to flag a match, as you can see over here. So clicking on the balance allows you to view the invoice. Note, like I was saying before, that the TRRA site only uses Social Security number, driver's license to pair matches. So they can have even a completely different name. If their Social Security number, driver's license match one or the other or both, then it'll provide that match. And here it just says, talking about flagging a match will allow the match to be further investigated and listed as a false match. So the city will have the option to determine if the match is truly owed by the customer. That's one thing you can do. Let's go to that next page here. So this is what will happen if you do select the invoice. Or I'm sorry, if you select that balance, it'll take you to view the invoice. It'll ask you if you really want to print off this invoice and look at it. So select that balance amount, and on this page is the $145.99. Select that amount, and you'll be brought to this page. So by selecting yes, you can generate an invoice to give to the customer. So as you can see here, you can generate that invoice if you go ahead and select a yes. And this is what the invoice page would look like. So, and since Tessville, this is an example of Tessville collecting on itself, it'll retain the full amount that's owed. So if we go ahead and look here, so they're trying to get the $145.99 amount from the customer. Okay, so say if so the $145.99 is just that delinquent amount owed from the beginning. They had that amount when they left another property, and they just never paid it. So that was at one point a delinquent amount, the $145.99. And then once we created the invoice, it automatically added the $25 to the service charge. That amount equals the $170.99. So in the invoice, it automatically calculates how much the city would keep, or the city would send to another city if it was another city altogether that was owed. But in this instance, because Tessville's collecting on itself, and because most collections actually come from the city itself, this is the example that we're showing you. So the city of Tessville is going to keep 100% of the amount that's owed here. So it totals the $145.99. And the customer is going to pay the amount of $170.99 because that $25 amount was tacked onto it. So let's go ahead and do that here. So after you select yes, this is the page that, okay, so this note is just kind of explaining what will happen. You can also go this arrow down here, this circled account detail. It'll be, you can just view the customer's information. So if you want to make sure everything's correct on it, you can. And a lot of people do save as a PDF in a separate folder, just if they wanted to make sure that they kept track of all the invoices that they created, all the matches that they had. You can save it as a PDF on your own computer in a certain folder. Usually that's how people keep track of it. Makes it quite a bit easier to know who you've billed or who you've invoiced already. The other option, you can still print this page from your browser. So usually Google Chrome will have something at the top right-hand corner. It'll show you how to. It'll have an option to print this page, and this is what you get with the customer. So next one here. So on this next slide, it just kind of shows what it would look like if you search this customer again in the delinquent accounts. So as you can see, the status, underneath status, it says that it's being collected. And remember, it's not the full invoice amount, it's just the balance that he owed right here, because the $25 fee is only added to the invoice. It's not shown or anything in any kind of delinquent customer list or anything like that. So, you know, the customer will remain on the status until the PRPC and TRRA team receives the $25 removal check. Once the team receives the check, then we'll end up removing them from the site completely. That's how it works. So this is what you would see if you did end up selecting the flag match option that's in that matches. That'll be on your matches list. So if you selected flag match, it'll take you to this page and it asks you if you're sure you want to flag this match as false. So you can determine that with the current account, delinquent account information. A lot of the time cities communicate within each other, say, okay, well, they owed this. Sometimes they'll have backup information showing that an amount's owed to a customer. So this is just another option for you guys. And once it is labeled as flagged, I'm pretty sure that the administrator would be the only one to be able to remove that label. So. And this is what it would look like once in your matches, potential matches in town tab. If the match was flagged, it would just have a red area over here under flagged that says flagged. Oops. All right. This next tab is the delinquent accounts. So this tab allows users to view cities' delinquent accounts. These accounts will have a balance, like I was saying before. These accounts will be the accounts that were entered into the delinquent entry tab or uploaded in that batch data. So this is what it would look like. As you can see, for Testville, we only have the one account, right? So, but if you have, multiple delinquent accounts in your city, it'll be a list and it'll show in a, it'll add rows to this. So under John Doe would be different names. Go to that next tab. Just how this tab shows all the current accounts. These accounts will not have a balance, like I was saying before, and will be customers that were entered in the new entry tab or uploaded into the large batch new customer upload. All right. So this next page, it'll display all of your city's active current accounts. Notice that there's no balance. Looks like I've said that a few times here. You will only be able to view active current accounts that are within your city. Like it shows here, the member city, you're not going to be able to see other people's current accounts. You just will be able to see your active accounts. And you can search information regarding their active customers with the tabs here. I'm sorry, with the blanks here. This next page, the delinquents collected. So this tab allows users to view their city's collection report. This will show like an estimate of how much the city has collected using the new site. It's pretty handy. As you can see, it shows the total delinquent for my city. So because we created that match and have that amount collected, we could say that $145.99. The total or I'm sorry, but because he hasn't necessarily paid yet, it's going to be under the total delinquent for my city. So the 145.99, because it's still in delinquent accounts, it hasn't been paid yet per se. So the total collected for my city, once he does pay the 145.99, then it'll be in that section instead. And as you can see, the interval up here, you can adjust that to show, if TRRA has made any money, or if it's paid for itself in a year, or just really, it's pretty handy to show other people if you wanted to. So say if a board was asking for like the amounts TRRA collects for your city, you can show them easily by pulling this collection report up. All right, and that's really the end of the slide here. So yeah, that's in the presentation. My name is Kirk Grant. Again, you can reach me at kgrant@theprpc.org.